Have you ever felt like society's expectations about intimacy and relationships are completely out of touch with reality? We're constantly told that the size of a man's body, particularly his penis, defines his worth in relationships. It's everywhere, on TV, in magazines, even in casual conversations. But what if I told you that this idea is a dangerous myth? A myth that could be ruining your perception of true connection and intimacy. In today's video, we're going to debunk the harmful myth that size equals satisfaction and show you why the true key to intimacy lies in emotional connection, care, respect, and communication. I'm going to share with you real life-changing insights from couples who have thrived on these principles and explain why placing so much emphasis on physical attributes can hold you back from achieving a deep, fulfilling relationship. By the end of this video, you'll understand why love, vulnerability, and emotional intimacy will always trump any physical measurement. You'll see how shifting your perspective can transform not just your romantic life, but how you approach relationships in general. Trust me, this is a conversation you don't want to miss. Stay tuned, and let's dive into the truth about intimacy. Have you ever stopped to think about how much pressure society places on men when it comes to intimacy and relationships? From advertisements to casual conversations, the message is often the same. A man's worth is tied to his physical size. It's everywhere, subtle but constant, making many men feel as though they're inadequate if they don't measure up to these unrealistic expectations. But here's the truth. This idea is a myth. A dangerous, limiting myth that has no place in real relationships. The belief that physical size equates to satisfaction isn't just wrong, it's harmful. It reduces the richness of intimacy to a single shallow aspect, ignoring the deeper, more meaningful components that truly define a fulfilling connection. Consider this: if size were the ultimate determinant of happiness in relationships, wouldn't we see a consistent pattern in who experiences lasting love and joy? Yet we know this isn't the case. Couples who thrive, who share decades of happiness, often say their secret isn't something physical. It's the emotional connection, the mutual respect, and the way they make each other feel valued. Let me ask you, have you ever found yourself worrying about whether you meet these societal standards? If so, you're not alone. Many men carry this silent insecurity, feeling as though they're judged by something beyond their control. But the truth is, those who truly matter, your partner, your loved ones, don't see you through the lens of these false expectations. They see you for the care you give, the respect you show, and the effort you put into building a meaningful bond. Science backs this up. Numerous studies have shown that emotional intimacy, communication, and trust are the leading factors in relationship satisfaction. Physical attributes may play a role in initial attraction, but they are far from the foundation of a lasting connection. So why does this myth persist? Part of the answer lies in the way media and cultural narratives shape our perceptions. We're bombarded with images and stories that glorify a narrow and often unrealistic standard of masculinity. These messages are designed to sell products, not to reflect reality, and yet they leave many of us feeling inadequate, as though we're competing against an impossible ideal. But you don't have to accept this narrative. You have the power to redefine intimacy on your own terms, focusing on what truly matters: how you connect with your partner emotionally, how you communicate your needs, and how you make each other feel secure and loved. Ask yourself this: what if you stopped worrying about meeting society's expectations and instead focused on creating a relationship where both you and your partner feel seen, valued, and cherished? The freedom that comes from breaking away from these myths is life-changing, and it starts with shifting your perspective.
To truly understand how these societal myths impact relationships, let's look at a real-life example. I once heard a story about a man named Min. Min was a kind and thoughtful husband, but for years, he struggled with feelings of inadequacy. He believed that his physical size wasn't enough to satisfy his wife, and this insecurity quietly ate away at his confidence. One evening, after years of holding back, he opened up to his wife about how he felt. To his surprise, she looked at him with nothing but love and said, "Min, I don't love you for your size. I love you because you're the person who holds my hand when I'm scared, who listens when I need to talk, and who makes me feel like I'm the most important person in the world." Her words completely changed the way Min saw himself. He realized that the connection they shared was rooted in trust, respect, and love, not in any physical attribute. From that day forward, Min stopped comparing himself to impossible standards and started focusing on what truly mattered, being present, supportive, and emotionally available for his wife. This isn't just Min's story. It's a story that plays out in countless relationships, and it's a reminder that intimacy is about so much more than appearances. What truly makes a relationship thrive are the small, meaningful moments, the laughter shared over a cup of tea, the way you comfort each other during tough times, and the understanding that comes from truly listening to your partner. And if you're still not convinced, consider what science has to say. Research consistently shows that emotional intimacy and communication are far more important to relationship satisfaction than any physical factor. In fact, many women in studies report that what brings them the most joy in a relationship is feeling understood, respected, and cherished. Yet, despite this, many men continue to carry the weight of societal expectations. They push themselves to meet an unrealistic ideal, believing that their partner's happiness depends on it. But here's the truth: no one-size-fits-all standard can define what makes a relationship meaningful. The happiest couples are those who focus on building a strong emotional connection, one where both partners feel supported and valued. Now, take a moment to reflect. Are there moments in your own relationships where you've prioritized emotional connection over physical appearance? What happened when you truly listened to your partner, when you put aside insecurities and focused on making them feel loved and appreciated? Chances are, those were some of your most fulfilling moments. The takeaway is clear. Physical traits may capture attention, but it's the way you treat someone, the way you make them feel safe, respected, and deeply loved, that creates a bond worth cherishing. Let's dive deeper into what truly holds relationships together: emotional connection and communication. Have you ever experienced a moment where words seemed unnecessary, and just being with your partner brought a sense of calm and understanding? That's the power of emotional intimacy, and it's something that no physical trait can replace. Think about this. When couples look back on the best moments of their relationship, it's rarely about superficial details. Instead, it's the quiet acts of love, the late-night conversations, the moments of shared laughter, or the way one partner instinctively knows when the other needs support, that stand out. These are the moments that strengthen bonds and create lasting joy. But how do we cultivate this emotional connection? The answer lies in communication. Healthy relationships thrive on open, honest conversations where both partners feel safe to express themselves. It's not just about talking, it's about truly listening, hearing what your partner needs, validating their feelings, and working together to nurture the relationship. For example, imagine a couple facing a common challenge. One partner feels distant, and the other doesn't know why. Without communication, this distance can grow, creating misunderstandings and resentment. But when both partners take the time to sit down and talk openly, they often discover that the issue isn't insurmountable. Maybe it's stress from work or a simple miscommunication. Whatever it is, addressing it together strengthens their connection. Research supports this, showing that couples who communicate effectively are more likely to feel satisfied and secure in their relationships. It's not about avoiding conflict altogether. Every relationship has its challenges, but about navigating those challenges with empathy and respect. Now, let's apply this to intimacy. Many people assume that physical satisfaction is the cornerstone of a happy relationship, but studies repeatedly show that emotional intimacy has a far greater impact. When you and your partner feel emotionally connected, physical intimacy becomes a natural extension of that bond, rather than something driven by pressure or insecurity. This shift in perspective can be transformative. Instead of focusing on what you think might be lacking, You begin to see the incredible potential for growth and connection within your relationship. By being vulnerable and honest with your partner, you create a space where both of you can thrive emotionally, mentally, and physically. So let me ask, how often do you take the time to truly connect with your partner? Not just asking, "How was your day?" but genuinely engaging with their thoughts and feelings? If this isn't something you do often, now is the perfect time to start. Begin with small steps, a heartfelt compliment, an open conversation, or simply sitting together without distractions. When you prioritize emotional connection and communication, you build a foundation that supports every other aspect of your relationship. And as that foundation strengthens, you'll find. Imagine waking up one day and realizing you've been carrying a burden that was never yours to bear. For years, society has planted the idea that a man's worth in a relationship is tied to something as arbitrary as his physical size. But here's the truth, your value isn't defined by such superficial measures. It's time to let go of these myths and embrace what truly matters. Take a moment to reflect on the relationships that have left a lasting impression on your life. Was it someone's appearance that impacted you the most, or was it the way they made you feel, loved, supported, and understood? For most of us, it's the latter. These moments of connection are what we treasure, and they're built on emotional intimacy, not physical traits. Consider the story of Mr. Min, a man who spent much of his life feeling inadequate because of these societal myths. He believed his partner deserved someone better, someone who met the unrealistic standards he thought were expected of him. But one day, his partner told him something that changed everything. "What I love about you isn't your size. It's your heart, your kindness, and the way you make me feel safe." That conversation freed Mr. Min from years of self-doubt. He realized that his partner valued the emotional connection they shared far more than any physical attribute. This realization didn't just improve their relationship, it transformed his confidence and the way he viewed himself. What if you could experience that same freedom? What if you could let go of the insecurities that have been holding you back and focus instead on the qualities that truly matter in a relationship? When you embrace this perspective, you unlock a new level of confidence, one that isn't tied to society's arbitrary standards but rooted in your ability to love, connect, and show up for your partner. It's important to remember that intimacy is about the moments you create together. It's about the laughter you share during a quiet evening, the way you comfort each other in tough times, and the respect you show through your words and actions. These are the things that make a relationship fulfilling, and they're far more significant than any physical characteristic. Here's something to consider. What would happen if you stopped worrying about things beyond your control and started focusing on what you can offer your partner emotionally? How might that shift transform your relationship and the way you see yourself? By letting go of these societal myths, you're not just improving your relationship, you're reclaiming your self-worth. You're allowing yourself to fully experience the joy and intimacy that come from being present and emotionally connected with your partner. So, what's holding you back? The freedom to embrace who you are and what you bring to a relationship is within your reach. Take the first step today and watch how it transforms not just your relationship, but your entire perspective on intimacy and love. Now, let's talk about the incredible changes that can happen in your relationship when you shift your focus from societal expectations to emotional connection. Imagine a relationship where both you and your partner feel truly seen, valued, and loved, not because of how you look or any physical trait, but because of the bond you share. Let me share the story of a couple, Mr. and Mrs. Hugh. After decades of marriage, Mr. Hugh began to feel insecure, questioning whether he could still meet his wife's needs. He grew distant, fearing she might compare him to unrealistic standards perpetuated by society. One day, in a rare moment of vulnerability, he opened up to her about his feelings. Her response surprised him. She said, "What I love most about you is how you've always been there for me. It's the way you laugh at my jokes, even when they're not funny. It's how you know exactly what to say when I've had a bad day. Those are the things that make me feel loved, not some impossible standard society tells us to believe in." That conversation reignited their connection. Mr. Hugh realized his wife didn't need him to be perfect. She needed him to be present. This shift in perspective allowed him to rebuild his confidence, and their relationship became stronger than ever. This isn't just their story, it's a universal truth. Relationships flourish when we prioritize emotional connection over superficial measures. When you invest in truly understanding your partner, listening to them, respecting their feelings, and showing up for them in meaningful ways, you create a bond that can weather any storm. Science confirms this, too. Studies consistently show that the strongest predictor of satisfaction in relationships isn't physical appearance or traits, it's emotional intimacy. When partners feel understood, valued, and supported, their connection deepens, leading to greater fulfillment on every level. So how can you apply this in your own life? Start with small, intentional actions. Take the time to ask your partner how they're feeling and really listen to their response. Show appreciation for the little things they do, like making your favorite meal or sharing a quiet moment with you. These gestures may seem small, but they send a powerful message. I see you, I value you, and I care about your happiness. When you focus on building this kind of emotional connection, the physical aspects of your relationship often follow naturally. Intimacy becomes less about meeting expectations and more about sharing a moment of closeness and understanding. You'll find that the pressure to be enough fades away, replaced by the joy of simply being together. Ask yourself, what could you do today to strengthen your emotional bond with your partner? Maybe it's sharing a memory that makes you both smile, or telling them how much they mean to you. These small acts of love and care can create a ripple effect, transforming not just your relationship, but also the way you view yourself and your ability to connect deeply with others. Let's take a step back and think about what true love really means. It's not something defined by appearances or measured by physical traits. It's about the way two people show up for one another, day after day, through life's joys and challenges. True love is built on mutual care, respect, and understanding, and it's those qualities that make a relationship truly extraordinary. Consider the story of Mr. Tan and his wife, Mrs. Hoa. They had been married for 40 years, and when asked about the secret to their enduring relationship, they didn't talk about grand romantic gestures or physical traits. Instead, they spoke about the small, meaningful moments that defined their bond. Mrs. Hoa recalled how Mr. Tan would always make her tea in the morning, even on the days when he was tired. She talked about how he would sit with her in silence when words weren't needed, offering a sense of calm and reassurance. It's not about what he looks like, she said. It's about how he makes me feel safe, loved, and understood. This is the essence of true love. It's in the way you comfort your partner when they're feeling low, the way you celebrate their successes as if they were your own, and the way you choose to support them every single day. These acts of love and care are what make relationships thrive, and they go far beyond anything physical. When you focus on nurturing this kind of connection, you create a partnership that is strong, resilient, and deeply fulfilling. Physical appearances may fade with time, but the love and respect you build together will only grow stronger. This is the kind of love that sustains you through life's challenges and brings joy to the everyday moments you share. Think about your own relationships. What are the moments that stand out to you? Chances are it's not the grand gestures, but the quiet, meaningful ones. The times when your partner showed kindness, offered support, or simply listened when you needed to talk. These moments remind us that true love isn't about perfection, it's about presence. Now, let me ask you, how do you show love in your own relationships? Are there ways you can deepen your connection with your partner by focusing on the things that truly matter? Maybe it's taking a moment to express gratitude for something they've done, or simply spending quality time together without distractions. True love is about building a life together that's rooted in mutual respect and shared values. It's about creating a space where both you and your partner can be your authentic selves, free from judgment or insecurity. And when you prioritize this kind of connection, you'll find that your relationship becomes a source of strength, joy, and endless possibilities. Take a moment to reflect on how you can nurture this kind of love in your own life. What small step can you take today to show your partner how much they mean to you? Those small acts of love are what create a bond that stands the test of time. We've journeyed through some powerful truths today. From breaking free of harmful societal myths to understanding the true foundation of lasting intimacy, we've explored what really matters in relationships: emotional connection, mutual respect, and genuine care. It's not about meeting arbitrary standards or comparing yourself to impossible ideals. It's about how you show up for your partner with love, understanding, and a willingness to grow together. These are the qualities that create a bond worth cherishing, one that lasts far beyond physical appearances or fleeting trends. Now that we've uncovered the true essence of love and intimacy, it's time to reflect on how you can bring these lessons into your own life. Think about your current or past relationships. Are there areas where you could focus more on emotional connection, communication, or acts of care? I encourage you to take a small but meaningful step today. Maybe it's starting a heartfelt conversation with your partner, expressing gratitude for something they've done, or simply spending time together without distractions. These small moments of love and presence can strengthen your bond in ways that no external standard ever could. And here's where I'd love to hear from you. What resonated with you most? In today's video, what's one thing you'll take away and apply to your own relationships? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Let's make this a space where we learn from and inspire one another. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like and share it with someone who might benefit from this message. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so we can continue exploring topics that matter. Your support means the world to us.